Well, this is Highway 235 north in the glorious state of Ohio. And surprisingly, this street is called Main Street. Main Street. You hardly see that anymore, you know? Funny thing happened yesterday. I was going through a scale in Kentucky, and the bypass overhead lane sign was on, pointing everybody to the left. And you know, my load is 11 feet 5 inches wide, right? I'm 135,000 gross. I'm just under 80 feet long. And so you learn to ignore those signs because they want to see your permit, right? The last thing you want is to follow with the traffic of reefers and dry vans, and then they start chasing you. What are you, an idiot? You're oversized. You don't look at that. As I pull to the scale house, go inside to show my permit, and the guy starts grilling me why I ignored the overhead lane sign, and basically says I should give you a ticket, park over there, bring your papers, and basically makes fun of me the whole 2 hours I spend there. They finds a small violation, of course they always can find something, and gives me an inspection report with a tiny little thing that he found. And then when everything is done, it's like a switch is turned, and this guy turns from a very mean, very sarcastic guy. He turns into like your best buddy, and he starts telling me about his 13-inch Mac computer he just bought, about his iPhone, shows me picture of his wife, of his daughter. And I'm standing there and I'm not believing, you know, like I cannot leave, right? I cannot say that, hey, can I go? Because that would be rude, right? But the guy was just making fun of me for 2 hours. And then all of a sudden, basically, you can see that the guy feels very unappreciated, you know, and he just needs the attention, right? And he likes to use his power, because no matter what you do as a trucker, if I follow those signs and try to bypass the scale, chances are he would just go after me in his patrol car, pull me over and give me a hard time for trying to jump the scale, right? So you cannot win. So it's the law, you have to do what they say, right? And by the way, the guy says, so why did you ignore the overhead lane sign? I said, well, because most states actually they have signs at the scale says oversized loads, ignore the you know, lane indicators, park over here, bring your papers. And this guy says, does your Kentucky permit say that? And I try to remember. I think I don't remember. I don't think so. But you read it, yeah? I said, yeah. So why did you ignore the lane sign? I should give you a ticket. We have a language problem. Oh Jesus. So anyway, I think when they abuse you like that, you know, like, because he was calling me, he said, you either high or drunk, or we have a language problem, like, so I think there should be like 5 minutes of every hour when the driver can abuse back, you know, like there should be a sign, like minute number 56, like a sign light up on the wall, and it says, driver, go. And then when you're done, the officer says, okay, you finished? Now it's my turn. and he gives you 2 more tickets. So basically the moral of the story is, you think you know what you're doing, but then you run into a guy in a different state that takes it as a personal insult, and then you don't know what you're doing. But anyway, so you cannot win, like I said. So just be careful. And basically what they should have said in the first place, this guy's scale was broken. So his scale was broken. So why do you have the whole traffic you pull off from the freeway? Because he was looking for somebody to still, you know, inspect, to do a ticket, right? But the scale is broken. That's why he had 2 red lights in there, and then he was making fun of me when I refused to go through them. What are you? I told you to go through here. I said, sir, there's a red light. Well, let's try this again. Go straight, park over there. So anyway, it's kind of like, you know, when a cop stops you for speeding. A cop stops you for speeding, and then he says, okay, it's, you know, the shoulder is too narrow over here. Let's go to the right. There's a rest area over there, and just turn right over here. And you come to the intersection, and there's a big sign that says no right turn. So what do? The cop just told you to go to the right, and so you stand there and you're not sure what to do. And then of course the guy would come over and he would say, what are you, idiot? I told you go right. But sir, there's a sign. Do we have a language barrier here? Are you high or are you drunk? Well, basically that's what happened with me, right? But what made me feel better was how this guy spent the last 30 minutes of his professional time ignoring all the traffic, crawling at 10 miles per hour behind his back, because the scale was open, the arrows were bypassing everybody to the left, and he paid them no attention whatsoever because he was telling me about his recent Apple iPhone, about his wife, about his daughter, and about his new 13-inch MacBook. So I don't know. Like I said, I thought there was a morale to this story, but you cannot win, you know, like every cop is different. But we're all like, I appreciate what these guys are doing, you know, it's a very dangerous job. DOT, we want these guys because eventually, even though we don't like them sometimes, but they keep the roads safe, right? But you know, sometimes you run into a case like this and you gotta wonder, you know, like what the heck is going on, you know? So anyway, that's what happened. So now it's Sunday. I spent the last 1.5 hour, a day and a half in Wapakoneta at the TA. Okay, I'm looking for 235 again here, because this is US 12 and it's basically 2 highways in one, US 12 and 235, and now 235 breaks north, so now we're going northeast. And so I got tired of sitting at that Wapakoneta, and now I'm just relocating to the Petro in North Baltimore, basically trying to get closer to Michigan line. But this being Sunday, I cannot go into Michigan, right? Because then another cop will start screaming at me, you know, what are you, cannot read your permit? But the weather's nice, temperature is 27 C plus. I think it's about 77, 78 F. And so what do we have here? Benton Ridge. All semis must stay on ST routes, on state routes. All right, but I'm turning left somewhere. I need 235 north. So lots of bikers this weekend. A bunch of them were stopping at that TA there, and the names are pretty cool, you know. They had these angels for kids. Then I saw chained angels, believe it or not, chained angels. But basically there's always the word angel on the back somewhere, but it's like different combinations of the word angel and some other word. Angels for kids, chained angels, but I did not see any Hell's Angels. Okay, here it is, 12 235. So that's what I need. I guess there's some construction going on 75 or something, but they wanted me to go this way. And so this also helps me because, you know, I'm doing this detour. Oh, there's no stop sign. I'm doing this detour today on Sunday where the traffic is pretty light, so otherwise I would have to do it tomorrow, Monday. Okay, 235, that's what I need. Yeah, because you see there's a sign says detour north 75, go straight. But my permit says no. My permit says go north on 235 and then go east on 224. And then I jump on 75. You see there's, I think it's a construction over there. But these roads are not very wide. I guess they want to see these trucks over here, I don't know. Oh yeah, see now it found, my GPS found my route. It says 5 kilometers, so 3 miles to 224 east. Yeah, and then we go east, and then we jump on 75. And the petrol truck stop should be somewhere right there. Yeah, now I'm 30 kilometers away from the truck stop, which is 20 miles. But I thought I would show you guys this countryside of Ohio. I always enjoy these, you know, these back roads, because you don't see this stuff when you're on the freeway. And as you can tell, it's pretty much all farming country. But the road looks brand new. And I see sometimes construction guys are afraid to go through the forest because that would be easier, so they go like this. So there's something in the woods. Maybe there's a river. А я еду за туманом. За туманом и за запахом тайги. All right, 3 kilometers to the intersection. Now I remember, you know, when I was a student at the Kirovograd Teachers Training Institute.
Кировоградский педагогический институт имени Александра Сергеевича Пушкина.
And of course, every summer, or actually early fall, they will take students and we would spend a whole month doing this, helping kolkhoznikim, which is a state farm. And I think they would give me some money, I forgot, like maybe $30 a month, you know. They would give us food, and then they would deduct money for that food from our paycheck, but basically there was no studying. We were just doing the crops, mostly gathering, you know, potatoes, you know, walking after the tractor and just getting potatoes in the baskets, and then the guys would bring them, put them in big sacks, load the sacks on the truck. And I always try to talk to the trucker who was driving on the field and persuade him to give me a chance to drive the truck, right? Because I was so in love with trucks, and these were usually they were either Gaz 53, Gas 53, or ZIL, Z-I-L, Z-I-L, ZIL 130, ZIL 130. And I learned to drive them, and I was just driving in the field, you know, like basically you have to reposition the truck like maybe every 10-15 minutes. You have to drive forward because the girls and guys are, you know, walking in the back collecting all those potatoes, right? And then you have to start the engine, put it in first gear, drive forward.
600 meters, turn right onto US 224 East.
And I did this quite a few times. And so if somebody back then, this was like 1981, 1982, somebody back then would tell me that one day I would be driving among the fields of Ohio, United States, in my own truck with a 605 horsepower Cummins, and pulling a humongous scraper truck, I would just probably, you know, would not believe him, you know? Oh boy. So what is this? This is, yeah, 224. I need 224. Okay. But you see how I go? I had to go all the way to the left lane because I don't want the wheels. I don't want the wheels to go into that because the ground can be soft. And also I don't want to hit all these signs. Nobody, you're not turning in here, I'm sorry. Oh, you do? Okay, cool. But maybe if they hadn't sent me here, I wouldn't have to position my truck like this, but there's no way I can turn from that lane. I'm just saying. And this is a secondary road. Like, I'm on the secondary road, like what they call in Russia, right? Главное, the main, and второстепенное, secondary. And so these guys are zooming by in their tiny little vehicles as I'm sitting here. Oh wow, I can go. Now we're gonna go on the shoulder. Watch the rear wheels. Cool. I missed the signs and I missed the ditch. Good job, Captain Sergei. All right, and here we have 10 kilometers, 6 miles to I-75. Today is I have to prepare my border crossing for tomorrow. I got to do my part on Border Connect website with my PARs, and then I have to make sure I have all the documents for tomorrow export of this machine. I have to stop on the US side. Like normally you don't stop on the US side, right? When you go in Canada you only stop at on the Canadian side, but this time I have to park on the US side and go inside and take care of the export. have all my permits printed out. My bill of lading is made up. Oh, I made the invoice that I have to send to the broker after delivery, but I was not sure about the date. So if everything goes well tomorrow, I'm gonna deliver tomorrow. So I have to go into my invoice and put the delivery date Monday, August 5th. Otherwise it'll be August 6th if there's any issues at the border. And that's it. Then I just go to the delivery site, they're gonna unload, drive home, and take care of the payment so that I'm paid for this trip. And now the month is over, right? July is over, so I gotta take care of the my books, you know, the bookkeeping. I gotta sort all my receipts and do my sales tax filing, so I get paid HST, the sales tax back, my 13%. So just a mine, it doesn't take long, couple of hours, and that's it. And then maybe I'll take care of that bookkeeping today as I'm sitting doing nothing, and then when I come home, maybe I'll take a day off or something, I don't know, and I can start looking for a reload. Because actually, yeah, if I deliver Monday or Tuesday, then Wednesday is the best day to look for a new load. And some guy was asking if I notice any slowdown. Yeah, it's not. I think this summer is not as good as the summer last year. Like last year, it was really kind of like non-stop. You know, there was a bunch of loads. I do see lots of loads, but most of them are very cheap. But lucky for me, I only need 3-4 good loads a month because I have no employees, right? And so I spend a week sometimes, or even 2 weeks, trying to find that little gem, you know, and get a lot of money. Which of course sometimes does not make sense, because, you know, if I take a cheap load and do like 1 load a week, do 2 cheap loads in 2 weeks, it's going to be the same as 1 good load in 2 weeks, you know. But then, you know, you make the same money, but you're burning fuel, you're dealing with paperwork, you know, whereas you can do just 1 trip and make the same money. So I try to get the best rate possible. I don't work for cheap. I charge people a lot of money because my bank charges me a lot of money for my truck and my trailer and my insurance. And of course, you know, my Dodge Challenger is expensive. I like eating good food. But I do buy, to be fair, I do buy all my clothes at Walmart. So that part is cheap. But my Challenger is not cheap, and I like using premium gas, you know, 91, which in Canada has no ethanol. I hate ethanol. And so I need to charge people money, you know, to support all my one little toy. Because I don't have a house. I don't need money for the mortgage, but all I want is be able to keep that car and this truck and this trailer. So anyway, so that's a quick update from this trip from where? From Knoxville, Tennessee to London, Ontario. I'll do another update when I deliver this baby. I'll show you the unloading. Enjoy your weekend, boys and girls. Be good.